Hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Porsha Williams, if your name is, you know what? F that. If your name is Tisa Tells, y'all, I just popped on live for y'all to give me my flowers. You know, remember when a while back someone was saying that Simon Gabodia was a scammer? Someone wasn't scared about all the mess he was throwing around the internet. I'm going to sue. Baby, you can sue for defamation, but a defense is the truth. Someone said Simon's a scammer. Someone told y'all, not y'all, but the people in the back, that how Simon's scam was working, what he was up to, the federal charges, the fraud, the this, the that. I get it. A lot of y'all didn't believe me. And I do want to say two things. One, I was right because, baby, an MF and federal judge just co-signed this good January 11th of 2024 that everything I told y'all about Simon was right. But guess who got the court documents? Because I think it's Simon's burner account is all over the internet talking about there's no time, there's no date to these court documents. This could very well be a case for defamation. Old man River, set this one out. You've been caught dead to rights. You don't want to admit it, baby. I got the full court documents, and baby, we going through this. If you thought Porsha's book club was a good way to go, y'all sit back, relax, grab yourself a cup of cocoa. I made myself a pot of tea for this little scamathon. This is the con of a nation done by Simon Gabodia. Now, the only thing we need to know before we get into the court docs, and I'm going to give y'all a teaser. Baby, let me clear my throat so I can sing like a canary. And we're going to sing this in the tune of D flat, or you know what? We'll sing it in F scam, F sharp. Baby, Simon has been, listen, first of all, these are court documents. Court documents. He's fighting for his U.S. citizenship. Remember when I told y'all Simon didn't have U.S. citizenship, and it's no big deal, but because it's no big deal not having U.S. citizenship. Don't think I'm shaming about that. No, but remember I told y'all there's a reason this mofo don't have citizenship. There's a reason this mofo is still carrying around a Nigerian passport. Remember I told y'all there is a reason this mofo is at that Costa Rican rental and also in Dubai, but he ain't never in Atlanta, Georgia with his wife and his daughter that now he talking about. Before last year, this is my daughter. She don't need Dennis. I'm the man of the house. Now he's like, well, it takes a village to raise people. Mofo, it takes a village because you ain't allowed into the town limits. That's why I take a village. Simon, God, there's so much. I don't know where to start. I feel like I'm convulsing. Listen, they say that he's fighting for his U.S. citizenship. Spoiler alert, he got denied again. Okay, when you hear the story, the judge outlawed why they're not letting him in. And baby, it's not one thing. It's not two things. It's not six things. But when the judge listed the reasons why he's denying him, bank fraud, credit card fraud, identity fraud, fake marriages, and multiple felonies. Y'all, I tried to tell y'all. And y'all came at me. Y'all said I was jealous. I was trying to warn Porsha because here's the thing. I know Atlanta is I don't want to say Atlanta's a land of scammers, but there's a lot of scammers that live in Atlanta. If you want to be a scammer, go ahead. The thing that scared me actually, you know what? I forgot to change my headband. It don't even match my outfit. I hate when I do that. The thing that got me was you can be a scammer, but it's how reckless he is with his scams. Do you know that this mofo got deported? I'm going to read through the court documents, okay? And before y'all say these can't be verified, don't be listening to these Simon Gabodia burner accounts because, baby, I have the court number. I have the docket. This is 100%. I had the 13-page court papers. This ain't no allegedly, baby. We reading directly from the U.S. Immigration Court. But the thing is, to get back into I told you so, right? The thing is with this mess with Simon, he's reckless with it. This mofo got deported, snuck back in, committed committed fraud, got deported again for the fraud, then came back, committed more. And then get this, when that was over, this mofo went in front of a United States immigration court and tried to get citizenship under a fake identity. He lied to a U.S. court of law. I said, baby, you ain't seeing heaven. And baby, forget about heaven. You ain't seeing these naturalization papers, baby. Remember when I told you all these businesses that people are like, Simon's a businessman. And I kept saying, when are y'all going to learn? Not y'all, but I'm talking to the people in back. When are people going to learn? The Instagram is not real. Instagram's not real. It's not real. If you've ever been to the places Simon's been at, you already know he cap. You cap. I get that Porsha's never been off of Decatur Boulevard. I get that. I get it. And ain't nothing wrong with that. She likes to stay close to home. But the fact that anyone that's ever been anywhere in those circles knows anything about investment. Remember when Simon posted on his Instagram page that he invested in a energy fund with Bill Gates as an investor? And I said, I know you MF lying. And I said, first of all, this energy fund that he's talking about, this energy has not even been proven to work. All these types of funds, and I'm not going to get into it because I got too much into the weeds about the technicals. So everybody was like, what are you saying? But this is how he tricked Porsha to marrying him, saying that you are investing in an experimental energy fund with Bill Gates and putting up an ad saying it's estimated to be worth billions by 2023, baby. We in 2024, and that energy fund is sitting on zero. But again, unless you know these things, I understand. But the internet is not real. You see them posted up in a rental in Costa Rica. I pulled the receipts on that. Y'all ain't believe me. I literally went and said he went to these Indian scammers. Y'all, I have a playlist called Simon and Porsha Mess where I break things down to the bone. And it's pretty funny. I did a video about the way his bio that said he was worth 400 or 500 million. Baby, people worth 400 and 500 million. I promise you, their business isn't in the street, but it's not that hard to find employees. It's not that hard. He said he was worth 400 and 500 million. What happened with that? I found the scammer site for $109 USD that I made up and they posted my bio. And I literally cut and paste. I did a whole breakdown about how it was a scam. He literally made his own folklore. The only person that believed him was Porsha. So now where are we at? Because there's so many things I could go through. There's so many things. He literally said that he was running a trucking company that Fallon Penna, his ex-wife, had founded. But the trucking company only had 3 employees and 2 trucks. And you know, this is the whole thing with his lies. The National Transportation Board, because truckers have a big thing about being overlooked, overworked, and falling asleep and this and that. So you can actually go to any registered transport company and actually look to see how many miles they've actually worked in that year, because the federal government, his business that was keeping him so much in the thing, that transport hadn't even moved 3,000 miles. And if you know anything about trucking companies to even make $200 or $300 have to move billions of miles a year, not millions, but billions of miles a year. 3,000 is how many? 3,000 miles isn't even all the way to California. His trucking company, it was all a sham business. Now what? He's a restaurateur. He's in like whatever that steakhouse was. And I said, first of all, it doesn't matter how I know. The point of the matter is he was not an owner. He is not on the tax return. He was like barely the smallest minority investment. But I'll give it to Simon. He knows, for people that don't know, how to craft a narrative, how to spin a towel. It's only the problem is you got to talk to people that's never been anywhere and never had shit in life. Do you know what I'm saying? Even the way, and here's the thing that everybody wants to know. Did Porsha know or not? I'm about to get into these court documents, but let me just say, did Porsha know or not? Because when you think about it, about whether Porsha knew, I honestly believe in the beginning, she ain't know. Porsha counts with her eyes, right? And ain't nothing wrong with that. Baby ain't been off of Decatur Boulevard. Prior to Simon, the only time she'd been out the country was on the Real Housewives Atlanta trips. And that's no shade to her. I'm just saying that to the ways of the world, even though emotionally, she's very crafty, you crafty for like Atlanta hookah bars, not for like some like international pretend fake Fugazi Playboy. So in the beginning, this is my opinion. I don't think Porsha knew because I don't think Porsha checked. I think Porsha Googled, saw that fake $109. Watch the video. That fake, I might have actually even played the video on the live stream. That fake $109 bio he wrote saying he was worth 500 million. But you ain't got no companies. You literally talking about, I'm having lunch with my employee. Your employee is 101, sir. Anyone that knows what a real businessman looks like, no, you don't have any businesses. These are all smoke and mirrors. I think Porsha was on the internet talking about Lauren, plotting on some other woman's man. And this is why I say, when these old heads tell you, don't ever be sneaking behind another woman's back trying to take somebody's man. Yes, morally it's wrong, but you realize they tell you that for your own good. Because when you are not dating somebody publicly, you don't really have time to investigate. You don't really have time to go visit their office, to meet their coworkers, because you're the little sneaky link. You meeting in hotels. And as long as they can let you order room service and buy you like a few caftans or muumuus, you think you're doing it. Seriously, this is why all heads tell you don't ever be somebody's sneaky link. Because as a woman, right, your time is precious. Your years are precious. I guess everybody's time and years are precious too, because some men like Simon be aging like spoiled milk. We see Porsha, it looked like she got him on her Ozempic, right? It looked like she got her. You can't tell me Simon's not. Now, I don't know for sure because I'm not a doctor, but he looked like he got that Ozempic body. He looked like he got that Ozempic face once Porsha ripped that Looney Tune face spoon off that they seem to love. Y'all don't even realize, that you can Facetune video, right? You can Facetune video. But also remember when he's talking about, I'm eating healthy and going on a diet for my wedding. And this fool was eating some boiled broccoli and some lasagna. I said, tell me that boy lose weight from Ozempic. Sir, you don't even know what a healthy diet looks like. You don't even know enough to fake it, to know that ain't nobody eating a plate this big, filled up 3/4 with lasagna and 6 broccoli spears. Sir, something tells me you have never been on a diet and you don't know how healthy eating looks. Something tells me it might be that old Ozo. You got that Ozo flowing through your veins, right? Somebody let him know that what Bill Clinton and Al Sharpton actually discovered. Baby, when you over a certain age, you need to just get in the gym and make that muscle, because nobody wants a skinny bobble-headed old man. Literally, when your clothes come off, you be looking like a wet puppy, like a schnauzer or a Dalmatian puppy that just got in the water. You know how puppies be looking when their back legs be shaking when they be coming out the water, looking like a wet puppy with a jolly face, looking like a hush puppy mixed with a wet puppy. Literally, once you reach a certain age, baby, you just got to work that off in the gym. But people that like lasagna and broccoli for their healthy meal, literally drink guzzling, even on their show at 1:00 in the afternoon. Y'all throwing back tequila shots like you work, like you got a sponsorship with De Leon. Ain't nobody, like, literally, I was looking and smoking cigars. And all of a sudden, out the blue, after Porsha magically found a way to drop 30, 40 pounds in a month and a half, now you walking around looking slim and trim. I mean, maybe you did it naturally, just as natural as your fake marriages and your credit card things. Anyway, where was I? Oh, that's right. I was gloating. I think I was dragging Simon and Porsha. So the question is, did Porsha know? I really think that Porsha was sitting there, saw that fake bio, Google Tisa Tells bio. Matter of fact, watch the video. I'm going to start reposting the videos, okay? Tonight, I'll repost all the videos, okay? In case y'all want to go through the playlist, right? But when you go through the whole thing about, Porsha was on that laptop, talking about, oh my God, 500 million. Look, he got money. Oh my God, he could build a whole underground railroad. Literally. Because Porsha, she's very emotionally intelligent, but when it comes to actually the ways of the world, and when I say, I mean like the business ways of the world, I don't think she's been exposed to many people that have had corporate jobs and definitely many people that are bosses. You know what I'm saying? She's dated athletes and now she got Simon. If she had ever dated a man that was not just a worker, but like a boss, you would know something ain't right. How you saying you got all this and you got this house and you got this and that and you only got 2 employees working on you? And what are you talking about? I bet you Portia's sitting there mad right now in that house that if she's not careful, they are going to lose, not because of anything, but when the feds come knocking, they don't care. And you know the feds' favorite thing to do is take down a Bravo housewife, right? I know Simon walking around that living room trying to avoid her. You know Simon be walking around on his laptop trying to act like he's busy. Remember? That's the thing about Porsha. Have you ever been around someone that got a real job? Because even when Simon be sitting there trying to pretend and she'd be like, look at my man working. Anyone that's ever worked a day in their life is looking like he ain't doing nothing on that laptop. What is going on? He ain't doing nothing in that laptop. Now, here's the thing. Porsha's coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And this is why this is so dangerous to Porsha. Because at the end of the day, Bravo's not above setting their housewives up. They set up Teresa Giudice, and she was the star of Real Housewives of New Jersey. They set up Jen Shaw. Bravo has gotten into the habit of setting up their housewives to take falls and jail time. And now, I'm not saying they set them up, but they put them out there to be exposed. And they make their downfall storyline. Y'all think a downfall in Real Housewives of Atlanta is coming? I'm being serious. Because who you think leaked these court documents? Bravo goes through your whole life. You can't tell me Bravo didn't know about this. And let's not forget the way they played Porsha on Porsha Family's Value. Porsha hated it. And she went back into like, hawk mad, right? She went back to her anger management ways. But it was ratings gold for Bravo. And Bravo had a key taking apart and making Porsha and Simon look stupid. I will say this, and I'm being serious. If Porsha can back out that contract, because that's another thing. I tried to tell y'all told me shut up. Y'all told me I was hated. Some people even tried to tell me I was making up mess. But I'm like, but I have the documents right here, you guys. I can't make this up. Yeah, anyone believe me, right? But the thing is, when Porsha and Simon, because I get it, people are fooled by Instagram. Porsha literally got a whole bunch of pretty dresses, and everybody was like, oh my God, he must have money. But no one noticed that, one, you had your wedding, because for the people that know about this stuff, it's simple to see. You had your money over Thanksgiving weekend. For anybody that knows anything about planning a wedding, Thanksgiving weekend is the absolute cheapest time you can ever plan a wedding. For even big events, you will get it at the absolute cheapest, right? 2, and this is the biggest thing. I don't care. First of all, those wedding dresses, some might have been donated because it is exposure. Her wedding was a beautiful wedding, and it got millions of views across the internet. So a lot of those gowns, the streets are saying, were 100% gifted. Now, ain't nothing wrong with that at all. But keep in mind that it was gifted, right? So if what the streets are saying is true and those wedding gowns were gifted, and I wouldn't see why they wouldn't, because Porsha is getting them exposure, right? And you booked the venue at the cheapest time, then you're actually saving money. And everybody saw this glorious wedding. But for everyone that knows, that's used to actually being around money, it's like, but where's your honeymoon? Porsha clowned Candace about not having a honeymoon. But the one thing everybody saw was, you married somebody worth 400 million. If you married somebody worth 40 million, where's your honeymoon? You didn't want to take a honeymoon? Y'all didn't take a honeymoon. You just started reposting old pictures. So again, it never adds up. Okay. And why did she do that? Why did they spend that money? Because this is when I started to think Porsha started defending too much that she was with a billionaire. She wanted to be on the wood grain floors. She wanted and nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, because baby, I keep people out of my business, but please believe, right? Any woman, it's such like, okay, good. Because for that aspect, ain't nothing that Simon got that well, let me just shut up, right? My whole point of the matter is the money, you live a nice upper middle class life. Great. Y'all can do courtside seats. Y'all got like a house that's worth like what? 4 or 5 million. Great. Right? You got and y'all haven't flown private since. You doing first class. Okay, that's great. But the thing is, things don't match. How are you dating this man that's worth all this money, but he couldn't take you on a honeymoon? How did you wait until you were trying to see if you were going to get your show to start splashing out and flying private again? And don't get me going on the way Simon makes his money and those private flights, those private jet flights that somehow skip. Well, you know what? Let's just wait. I don't want to get somebody in too much trouble. But anyway, with no further ado, let's get into these MFN documents. And before I get into the documents, let me just say this, right? A federal immigration judge has confirmed Porsha's new husband, Simon, is a scammer, just like Tisa Tell said. And 2 times a felon with a history of fraud and fake identities, and has been deported twice. And don't think mama don't remember. Don't think mama don't remember the way I told you. And there were even some people that went in on that scammer trying to throw dirt on my MFN name. Okay, baby mama got a long memory. Anyway, I keep it gracious, but baby. So apparently there have been paid trolls. I think these are Simon Berman accounts, but there's a lot of paid trolls now in the comments of all these sites saying, if this isn't verifiable, don't believe it. Spoiler alert, mama got the court documents and it's 100% verifiable. There are no names on these records. There's no names on the records because what you see right here is screenshots from the document. There's no names on these records. That is not true. There are 100% names on the record. When you look at court papers, it's always on the first page. After that, you are referred to as plaintiff or defendant. No link to confirm where they came from, baby. They came from the U.S. Immigration Court. Google, okay? And they said a defamation suit could very well be in order. Baby, a nan defamation suit coming out. And baby, with no further ado, Maestro, let's get this party started. I do want, I'll save that for a second video because I have some thoughts on what's going on with Porsha, Real Housewives of Atlanta, and why she chose it. But here's my whole point. I do think that Porsha halfway through realized that his money's funny. And then I think Porsha switched gears and she started going all out to prove that her man got money and she married well. Why? I don't think it's because she loves Simon. I don't. I think it's because, one, Porsha's ego is tied up in Simon. She literally lied. She schemed. She did everything to get another woman's man. Now, you can say, so what? I would have did the same thing too. Maybe, right? Do you? I don't got to take somebody else's man, right? But again, that's why old heads tell you, don't be sneaking around with somebody else's man, because at the end of the day, you need to be fully out there. So if other women are around, you're identified as the main girl and people will bring mess to you. If they say they're worth this much, you can actually go around. You can do this, you can do that. I don't even understand how Porsha, once they got engaged and married, she didn't get access to the bank accounts or at least know what was going on in the finances. But hey, let's just get into the court documents. All right. I think I've laughed enough. I'm sorry. Listen, y'all understand how much people were literally calling me the biggest liar in the world. Y'all don't understand how hostile. And all I was trying to do was warn a simple country bumpkin that she was marrying a scammer. Nobody cared. But anyway, all jokes aside, right? It was just the point. All right, let's get into this. This is in the United States District Court for the, and you know what? In my next video, I'll start putting up, hold on, let me, just so y'all see I'll start putting up the screenshot. I'll start putting up the screenshots in my next video because you know I'm gonna make a party out of this. Y'all know Mama knows how to stretch content out. But I don't want to put the court case number up now because honestly, everybody that talked trash about me, everybody that said this, everybody that literally reposted when that man was threatening, baby, find these court documents on your own. But I will just show y'all this. Look at the screen. Simon Iori Gobodia, petitioner versus UR Mendoza Jadu, director of the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and Shanika Miller, director of the USCIS Atlanta Field Office. Simon, that's another thing. Simon knew all the trash he did. And when the U.S. Immigration Court was like, we ain't never, ever, 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 ever giving you citizenship, Simon went back. And this lawsuit, he sued the U.S. Immigration Court, saying they are making a claim against him, saying he's a scammer for which relief cannot be granted. Spoiler alert, the U.S. Immigration Court dismissed Simon's whole access. He granted an order for the defendants, that's the U.S. Immigration Office, granted the defendant's motion to dismiss, and he is completely dismissing the petitioner's case. This was signed by Judge Jones on January 11th, 2024. Y'all, listen. Listen, it is what it is, but baby, we love to see it. Okay, let's get into these court documents because the court documents are juicy and you ain't going to believe this. Listen, who said that? Somebody said, hold on. They said, hold on one second. Hello? Hey. Oh, yeah, I'm on live right now. No problem. All right, girl. Okay, all right. Hey, what's up? That was my girl. I've been playing phone tag with her for so long. She finally got back to me. She busy having a self-care day, living the life of leisure with her cute new little puppy she got. Anyway, right? You know when your girlfriend's called, you gotta be like, yeah, what's up? Anyway, she's also the one that actually helped me pull this together. Anyway, let's get into this. Molly said, agree. It seems he schemed so hard to get him. He said, why not? I'll tell you why not, Molly. Because there's certain things with an immigration court or a bankruptcy court that you just can't play around with. Lying to the judge really will end you up in jail. Oddly enough, when it came to Sherman, oddly enough, that's why he's been in Dubai. That's why he's been in Dubai for months. Has anybody seen him in Atlanta? Does anybody have any proof of life? But he has been in Dubai. And when he's not in Dubai, they're recycling old pictures, or maybe they're new pictures. I don't know, from that rental in Costa Rica. Again, I don't know why. If Porsha knew, she would go back on Housewives. Did she finally think that if she just stayed quiet enough, people would forget the past? No, not just me. Could you see now that she's big news? I wasn't even the one that broke this. I'm going to be real with y'all and keep it a buck, right? I actually found out about this not a little bit ago, but this court case was in January 11th. I was holding on to it just for a rainy day. There's a lot of tea I get. There's a lot of stuff. And I hold on to it for a rainy day because I'm like, they live in their life. They're private citizens now. Like, I already said what I need to say. Is there any point in bringing it up? But when the blogs picked it up, I said, well, baby, if y'all want to talk, Mama can talk. Anyway, Princess Di said, T said, you dropped this tea years ago. Let them know you aren't new to this. You true to this. I know that's right. And Sylvia Ennis, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. Princess Di and also Sylvia. Oh, also, last thing before I get into this mess, right? Here's the one thing I do want to say. I'm starting for my members only, another members only Monday. You guys, we are going to be talking about this in detail on members only Monday, and a bunch of other stuff. So I know with the members, I've been kind of neglecting, but I'm back, y'all. It's 2024. I'm going to start loving y'all the way y'all need to be loved. All right. The way I promised to love y'all. Sophie's cooking a new home tours. What's up? Okay. So let's get into this. Okay. And then I'll give a shout out. What's up, Callie Jewel? I'll give a shout out to all the members in the live in a second, but let me just get to this. I'll read a little and then we go and shout out the members. Okay. The matter appears before the court on respondents, right? The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services motion to dismiss document number 7 for the following reason. The court grants the U.S. motion and dismisses petitioner's case. So what does that mean? Simon sued the immigration courts. When you hear what he did, you're going to be like, oh, you bold. Again, it's not the fact that he's a scammer. That's bad enough. It's how reckless he is. I would be scared to be with somebody that reckless, that you will literally, dead wrong, playing with fire. The U.S. Immigration Court, they can throw you in jail. Playing with fire. You still go in there and lie like you don't know what's going on, to the point the judge was even like, are you kidding me? Guess not, guess not, guess not. Hey, Queen More, thank you for joining. I'll see you tomorrow, Members Only Monday. We're going to break this stuff down. And you know, a Members Only Monday, I'll actually put up the actual court documents as I walk you through it, and also give you some other tea that I've been hearing about Porsha and Bravo. Okay, again, people bring me stuff, but you know, they were private citizens before then, so I left it alone, but they ain't private citizens no more. Okay, let's get into this. Background. The case, so anyway, Simon sued them, saying you guys are being unfair and unconstitutional. He got laughed out of court and the judge dismissed. The defendants, which is the U.S. immigration attorneys, were like, because usually it would be the immigration suing Simon. No, Simon had the gall after he lied and got caught in a lie to sue them. They threw the case out and was like, it's motion to dismiss, because the immigration attorneys were like, yeah, Honor, he can't be serious. Anyway, the case arises out of petitioner's application for United States citizenship and naturalization. Okay. Doc number 1, that's evidence. The immigration court denied Simon. So it's saying petitioner, but I'll read it as a Simon, so it's easier for y'all to follow. Denied Simon's application on July 7th, 2022. Now, I got a question for y'all. When did Porsha and Simon get married? And when did Simon file for divorce from Fallon? Since we putting the pieces together. See, Simon finally, because Porsha thought he was proving he loved her, filed for divorce from Fallon sometime around the end of July, August, if my memory doesn't escape me. And everybody was like, oh my God, because prior to that, it was all this stuff. And Porsha was his fiance, right? But Simon was still married with Fallon. And their divorce hearing was scheduled all the way for November of that year. Okay. Now, oddly enough, okay, I remember around that time, I was like, why would Simon just out the blue announce Porsha and also I'm divorcing Fallon, and then divorce her like 8 weeks later? Because after that, people were clowning. Why? Because Simon is such a user. And again, if I was Porsha, I would be worried, because when I see a cheater, I don't think, oh, baby, he going to love on me and never cheat again. No, I think we'll probably have some good times. And when things get bad, you're going to cheat on me too, because that's what you do when you're not satisfied or when you're not happy. You cheat. The same way Simon had no qualms, this is my opinion, using his marriage to Fallon to try to gain citizenship. And when his application was denied, that's when he said, you know what, let's just get this divorce. And that's when he officially filed for divorce from Fallon. Prior to that, Fallon didn't even know. She thought he was playing some back and forth. He wasn't. He had a petition to get his immigration, and he was trying to get his U.S. citizenship, unbeknown to Fallon, right? And when that petition was denied in July of 2022, that's when he was like, and he divorced Fallon. Again, I will always say, when it comes to Porsha and Fallon physically, and I think even mentally, is Simon's ideal. The way she looked, and I'm not saying Portia's not a gorgeous woman, because Porsha is gorgeous. She is, right? We can't take away, regardless of what we think about Porsha, and it's nothing personal. We don't think anything about Porsha. She is super emotional intelligent. She got personality that fills up the room. She shines on camera, and she's a beautiful woman, right? So you got all that stuff going on. But Fallon is Simon's type. He liked that slim, thick look. He liked that little, like there's so much. He loved the fact that she was half Thai. He just loved it. He loved that fact she had silky hair. Remember, Fallon was like, Simon said, I can't cut my hair. And that's when she had hair down on her butt and she cut her hair as an FU. That's when all that mess was going on. Okay, so where are we at? Again, do you see how when you look at what's going on in these court documents, it makes you make sense of Simon's weird moves, the way he announced he's engaged to Porsha. Why? Because when he saw that he couldn't get citizenship through his marriage to Fallon, that's when it lost all value to him because he was already sneaking around Porsha. And that's when he decided to make Porsha number 2 and make her number 1. The only problem was Porsha thought she was sneaking around, like her name was Lauren Sanchez, and she was about to bag Jeff Bezos. The only problem was you were sneaking around with Jeff Bezos' chauffeur driver, pretending like that yacht was his. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, let's get back into this. All right. But it's and just a little interesting tidbit I wanted to tell you guys about. All right. Okay. So they said, okay, so July 27, 2022, they were like, you cannot get U.S. citizenship. That's another reason. Remember, I did a story when I said the reason why Simon is always traveling back and forth to Costa Rica is because there is a time limit for how long he can be in the U.S. Because Simon's companies, one, are so like he can put something up on his LinkedIn, even though when you look into them, they all look like shell companies. And I did a breakdown of all his companies, the way he opens them, closes them. But you know, when you get companies, one thing you can do is he will never become a naturalized citizenship, but you can get, what is it called? The F1 or the F2, you know, the visas that you get if you are an employee or if you have business in America, they will give you a document, a visa that lets you enter America for businesses purposes, right? But you can't just stay there. You have to enter America and you can only stay for a certain amount of time. And if you stay over a certain amount of days, they charge your income and all this other stuff. It's very complicated. This is another reason why I said years ago that Simon was going back and forth. Again, me figuring this out wasn't even me being obsessive. I do know stuff about immigration law. I do know things about tax law. I do know things about the restaurant business. I do know things about PR. So when you see it and you see somebody playing in somebody's face, you're just like, huh? It was weird. And so many people talking about he got money. And I'm like, oh God, we ain't seeing heaven. We ain't never making it out of the hood. Ursula, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, mama. And also, Honey Lot, thank you so much for becoming a member. I'll see you tomorrow at the Members Only Monday. And listen, on Members Only Monday, I will be talking to the chat. I know sometimes I just talk, but I will be talking to the chat so we can really bust it up. And it's just going to be us, okay? I don't care if there's 20 people on the Members Only thing, baby. We going to bust it up and chop it down. Anyway, petitioner, that's Simon. Simon requested a hearing on this decision, and the denial has been reaffirmed. That's the court being mad. Like we already told you 17 times, all right? The court derives the following facts from Simon's complaint and its attachments. Petitioner is a Nigerian citizen. At least something he said was true. When he said, I remember when he was trying to act like he wasn't Benin, he was trying to act like he was the other one. Well, he was from the kingdom of Benin, but he was trying to act like he was from a different Nigerian tribe than what he was. But then it came out, oh no, I'm half and half. And then he claimed which one he was. Anyway, I will say this once and I've said it twice. No one loves Simon's culture less than him, but more than Porsha. The first time Simon even gave a shout out to Nigerian Independence Day, which is weird because Nigerian culture is so beautiful. The first time that he even acknowledged his culture and gave a shout out to his culture is when he started dating Porsha. Anyway, like Fallon said, when he was married to her, Simon in his whole life had only been back to Nigeria. And this man is what, 70? Had only been back to Nigeria 4 times. Again, remember when he was going in talking about Black women are so bitter and hateful and angry? He was talking like a Trump Republican. Anyway, right? I don't even want to put that on Trump Republicans. He was talking like a self-hating ninja. Because I will say this once, and I said it again, I got my ear to the street. I will put money on the fact that Simon in his life wishes he was a Latino man with an Antonio Banderas 8-inch yaki butts down on his head. He wishes he was a Latino man. Anyway, right? Um, Petitioner Simon's a Nigerian citizen. That much is true. Petitioner first entered the United States on August 11th, 1982. He overstayed his visitor visa. However, and in 1985, INS denied his application for adjustment of status. He was declared deportable and voluntarily departed from the United States on December 28th, 1985. He then re entered the United States in June 1986. Petitioner again overstayed his 6-month visitor visa. This is what he does. Remember, I said there's visas that let you enter and stay for a certain amount of days, but when the visa's over, you got to leave. That's what he's been doing. Oh, Caillou the Prince. Caillou the Prince. Thank you so much. You gifted a membership? Ooh, thank you. Nicole Richardson, thank you so much for joining. And Princess Di, thank you so much for becoming a new member. And shout out to Caillou the Prince. If you guys don't know, on YouTube, if you guys are feeling jazzy, you can actually gift memberships to other people. I'm just saying Christmas is gone, but it's a nice way to do it. Let me see if I can see who you gifted the membership with. Hold on. We're about to get back to this in 1 second. I can't see who you gifted the membership to, but you did gift it. All right. Okay. Oh, I agree with you. People are saying that's why Porsha is back on The Real Housewives. I'm going to make a separate video about that because my ear has been to the Atlanta streets. Again, I've known about this, right? Wasn't going to bring it up, but now that all the blogs are talking about it, I don't feel bad. Because at the end of the day, when I heard about this, I actually felt sorry for Porsha because when I heard she was coming back to Real Housewives, I was like, that can't be a rumor because if you know what I know, and that's your man, so you sleeping in the bed with him every night, you should know. Ain't no way in the world I would come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. And after the way they did me on Porsha Family Matters, please, there just ain't no way in the world. Okay, so let's get back to this. Simon re-entered the United States in June 1986. He once again overstayed his 6 months visitor's visa. In September 1987, Simon was arrested. He was arrested. Simon was arrested for bank and credit card fraud, and he pleaded guilty to the felony offense. Baby, I told you, scam. Remember, I told y'all he was a scammer and literally started off, baby. He was because Simon, I don't know if I ever told y'all, he was working at Church's Chicken. And there's no shade to working at Church's Chicken, right? Don't think at all I'm trying to shame anyone that's in the mud, trying to come out the mud, baby. We all do what we gotta do to get ahead and survive. I do take offense to somebody that it doesn't even matter. That was talking trash about Black women, this and that, literally one of those Nigerians, because I got a lot of Nigerian friends, but every time that there are people that are foreign that look down on Black Americans instead of seeing that, baby, this is a diaspora. They're like, we're doing Pan-Africanism. We got to stick together. They don't want to stick together. This is the same man that posted a picture of Tiffany Trump proudly saying Trump's son-in-law is from the same place I am. I guess me and Trump, again, it is. But then again, wasn't Porsha in her book talking about when she had her 30-inch bust-down weave when she was dating that football player that they didn't think that she was Black? They thought that she was mixed with something because she had her baby hair and her 30-inch weave. And I said, Porsha really is one of those people that guys be like, you don't even look Black. And she even wrote in her book, it was horrible they said it, but that's just what they told me. You don't look Black. You don't look like a regular Black girl. You look exotic. Why would you let men say that to you? Because already if a guy says that to me, I already know what time they're on and the mentality they're on and the self-hate they suffer from. But this is the girl that was waiting in R. Kelly's bedroom while he was flying in other girls. And she was literally waiting in his bedroom while he was talking about they having kids and whatnot. And she got mad because she got moved out of his main bedroom to the mirror wall where all the jump offs were. Anyway, Y'all gotta watch my old playlist. That was funny. Okay, so anyway, right? Let's get back into it. So when he was in Church's Chicken, right? And he was coming home and on the subway or the bus, I don't know where it was the bus. He was like, people are moving away from him because he smelled like that chicken, right? And he probably was like, I ain't gonna be broke forever. He probably saw somebody pass. What banks were around back then? I don't know, a Bank of America credit card across the counter, and he said, "That's my ticket out of here. Y'all ain't keeping me in this chicken fryer anymore." That man had a plan, and he went with it. Anyway, right? He ran through the night. Okay, let's get to this. Petitioner was arrested for bank and credit card fraud, and he felt guilty to that felony offense. He was arrested in January 1989 for unauthorized use of a vehicle. He was driving around in a stolen car. And this is a judge writing this about why he denied his petition. He's going through his whole thing. He was arrested in January 1989 for unauthorized use of a vehicle and again in May 1990 for fraud. Thereafter, the immigration agency began deportation proceedings. That means when they begin deportation, that means they take you in custody. They put you in immigration jail, and you have to stay there until the plane that they're trying to fill up to take you back to Nigeria or wherever your country is. Because they don't just say, oh, you're deported, and they put you on a plane going back to your home country. No, they wait until they have enough people going that way, right? And then they're like, all right, you can go. And they take you out of jail and they put you on the thing and they put you back to your homeland. Okay. So anyway, back into this. Thereafter, the immigration authorities began removal proceedings. In January 1991, petitioner committed another felony offense, credit card fraud. So let me get this straight. They done told you to leave several times because you kept overstaying your visa. You then snuck back into the country. You then, hold on, let me check documents. You then proceeded to commit bank and credit card fraud, and you pled guilty to that felony offense. Now, don't get me wrong. Around that time, right? Bank fraud, credit card fraud, that's, it was like part of, like the same way now there's boosters getting clothes and stealing clothes and selling them for cut rate. It was just like the things the scammers were into, right? But here's the interesting thing. After that happened, right? You pled guilty. You were then arrested, right? For basically a stolen vehicle, and you committed fraud again. The immigration court. So you got your one free off. Everybody does dumb stuff when they're young, and I would never look down on someone because honestly, because they got arrested. When you're young, you do dumb, wild stuff, right? You just do. So Simon wasn't young, but you do dumb stuff. You out there on the streets wilding. So you got your message from heaven saying, "Yo, slow down," right? For you to slow down, and you ignored that, and you sped up. Okay, that's when I start judging. So you got basically God gave you, you can take this one. Like, don't worry, you're gonna move past this. And you went closer to the devil. Oh, you was determined, right? So that's when the immigration office is like, we're starting the proceedings. The proceedings are for them to get an immigration order of removal. Once they get that, they can arrest you and you get held in jail while they were doing those proceedings. So he already knew that they were on his butt because they notify you. What happened? Why he did those proceedings? While they did those proceedings, he committed another felony offense, credit card fraud. On April 4th, in April 1991, an immigration judge held a hearing and ordered Simon be deported. On March 4th, 1992, he was deported and physically kicked out of the U.S. Before his March 1992 removal, however, on October 24th, 1988, petitioner used a different identity to seek temporary residence status under the Special Agricultural Worker SAW program. Y'all, I want to take a minute and just let this sink in. Simon, while he was waiting to see whether he was, well, not even waiting, while he was waiting for his deportation because the order was already in. Okay, while he was waiting for all that to be resolved, and this man been frauded in the midst of that, Simon thought he was, what is it? Who is it? The talented Mr. Ripley? Simon somehow thought that the deportation is looking for him. And he somehow thought that he created a fake identity and tried to get temporary residency status by saying that he was a farmer. Not just any farmer, but a very knowledgeable, a specialized farmer. That we don't have any like that in America. So because we don't that, we're allowing foreigners to come in that know this very specific type of farming to come in, and we will give them temporary residency visa. I'm not done, but raise your hand. Put one in the comment if y'all feel sorry for Porsha. Hit me with a one in the comments if you feel sorry for Porsha, because this is just scraping the top of it. When you got scamming, lying, no shame, no guilt, no anything, who knows the mess that he's getting them into right now? Honestly, is Go Naked here? What's going on with that? How's Go Naked? Does anybody buy and Go Naked? Or is that the way that you're just like putting in orders and stuff? I don't know. Did y'all ever see Ozark season 1? The way you take a business that's struggling, but looks like it should be making money. Did y'all see how you money launder? I'm just saying, is Porsha part of that? What she do to get those Louis Fendi Gucci Prada? I'm just saying. It's anybody's guess at this point. Anyway, so he then pretended, but even if you got that residency visa, were you just going to fake your own death? Like how, even if you say, hi, my name is Simone and Pumbaa, right? And I'm a special agriculture thing. Do you think that the courts would be like, but what happened to the Simon Gabodia that we are deporting? How are you going to, like, are you going to get a one-way plane ticket and never get on the flight? Like, what was it? This is what I mean about the fact of, yes, he's a scammer, but he's dumb. And I feel like at this point, he's like dumb. Like at this point, like my girlfriend said, Portia's like scamming herself because she's going all out the way. But if you knew this is Simon's history, and again, I get why she thought she could get away with it, because I was telling everybody and my issue was going viral. But all the blogs told me I was lying, all the little housewives pages, all the stuff. And now look, but you know what? It's cool. I know. I'll shut up. I know what you're saying, Tisa. You sickening. You damn right. Anyway, right? Okay, so he applied to be a specialized farmer. Before his March 1992 deportation, however, on October 21st, 1988, he used a different identity, a fake identity, to seek temporary resident status under the Special Agricultural Worker, the SAW program. Oh, God. He also did not include his criminal history on his SAW application. When his SAW application, oh, wow, he was approved. Oh, this gets better. So the SAW application, Special Agricultural Worker, the application was approved, but they say it was approved because of his misrepresentations and omissions, i.e. lies. He was giving a registration card as a temporary resident on July 25th, 1991. As part of the SAW immigration benefits, Simon's temporary resident status was automatically converted to permanent resident status following the waiting period. Simon received his permanent residency card on April 27, 1992, 26 days after he had been deported under his other undisclosed identity. So that little agricultural scam, hold on, let me sip my tea. That little scam actually worked. Or did it? Because anybody that knows anything about immigration attorneys and immigration will let you know two things. One, the reason why immigration takes so long is not just because we're getting paperwork ready on American side. They're also researching to make sure you are who you say you are if you're overseas. You could be a serial deleter. You could be the worst and under a fake identity, just come and just live. America's like, no, we want to make sure that we're not bringing in criminals. We're not bringing in dangerous people. We're not bringing in psychopaths. So part of the immigration thing, and the reason why it takes 1 to 3 years is because they go and they research in your home country to see if you can be verified to say you are who you are. That's why it takes so long. And if you can't be identified, they keep denying your application. Now, here's the thing. Clearly, this scam that Simon had going, he had people back home in Nigeria vouching for him because somebody had, or he took someone's identity, because we don't know whether he completely made up an identity or whether he took somebody's actual existing identity and he stepped into that identity. Do you know what I'm saying? We're not going to get into that. I'll do a video on that if you want, but because I need to research to actually see what's what. But also, when you actually do this stuff, that's why we even created in America amnesty programs for people that are fleeing war, because they recognize, well, if your whole place has been like leveled, you can't really we can't verify who you are, but we can't verify who a lot of people are. So you know what, we'll do other investigations, but okay, we're not going to actually require your birth certificate, and we can't call the hospital in it. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, but another thing, if Simon had not just tried to be smarter by halves, Simon would have found out that it's not going to work, because look what the US immigration judge said. On December 22nd, 2016, is that when he married Fallon? Is it? When did he marry Fallon? Hold on, let me check. Does anybody know? Let me know in the chat. Hold on. When did Simon marry Fallon? How about Fallon out? But you know what? I think he kept Fallon out of this. I don't know. Okay, no. So he married Fallon 2019, 2021, but they were dating, I believe, around that time. So let's get into the wait. Do you think that's why he married Fallon? Hold on, let me get into these documents, then we'll get back into um all this mess. Hold on, y'all. Okay. On December 22nd, so we left the 80s and the 90s when Old Man River, he don't say nothing. When Simon was in his prime, right? That's when Simon looked like who he's trying to look like now. And I'll say one thing though. Porsha put a lot of work in to stroking a man's ego that literally might actually be her downfall. The way he dressed him up as a military man for the wedding. I know y'all were like, oh, that was just an aesthetic. It wasn't, because Porsha was trying to create a image, and Portia's very skilled in images. In my opinion, Porsha was trying to create an image for people that are just casual observers that just see the People magazine, that she married some type of royalty. She knows Simon lives in a dreamland, because there seems to be, in my opinion, something wrong with his head, right? Again, I'm giving you guys the evidence. Don't take my word for it. Go and do your own research and make up your own mind. I'm just telling you what I think. These are all my opinions and views, and I do not encourage anybody to think what I'm thinking, right? But I think that like everything she did with that wedding was for America to believe that she had married a wealthy Nigerian man from a powerful family. Remember when Simon's bio that he wrote, when people are like, where did people get this idea that he came from an oil family? Well, Simon made up an oil website that doesn't even have any intricacies if you know anything about oil, but also, right? He wrote in his own fake bio that his family is an oil money family. Again, and it's odd to me how many people are fooled by this. I know a lot of people that I would expect to know better and do better, not be cute, to know better and do better and not be fooled by this. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Well, I don't know how to mute. So, oh, wait, hold on. Okay, guys. So anyway, I'm gonna have to get off in a second. Let me get speed through this. Where was I? Okay. On December 22nd, 2016, he applied for naturalization under his second identity and was denied because his temporary resident status was unlawfully granted. On December 31st, 2020, Simon filed another application for naturalization. This is after he married Fallon. Following an interview with the petitioner, that's Simon, the immigration office again denied Simon's naturalization application. Immigration explained he was ineligible because he had not been lawfully admitted for permanent residence. His temporary resident status, achieved through the SAL program, and the benefits had been based on a different identity and disqualifying criminal inadmissibility that was willfully concealed. On October 24th, 2022, this is a month before Porsha's wedding, Simon requested a hearing on this decision, and the immigration court reaffirmed the denial of his naturalization application on November 15th, 2000 and November 15th, 2022. Y'all, this was literally a week before he got married. Remember when they said when they were getting married, there was this whole thing with Porsha and a prenup, and that was taking so long, and why he was going to marry her, and whether he was going to marry her, and and all this and this, that, and a third. I'm just going to say this, y'all, and I'm putting it out there. I don't believe that Simon ever really planned on marrying Porsha. Around that time, if you watch my videos, there was a lot of mess going on. I don't think Simon actually planned on marrying Porsha. And I remember being like, what's going on? They're having problems, this and that. But oddly enough, after his immigration status was denied for the last time, a week before the wedding, that's when, again, he tried to put it in. It was, I'm sorry, not what, but let me slow down because I'm like trying to look at the chat while I talk. So if you guys don't remember, I did a video where I said that something had gone wrong and that the streets were saying that people were saying that they weren't something about a prenup, this and that. And like that's when Porsha was shopping for wedding dresses in Nigeria and wedding venues in Nigeria, and they were supposed to get married in Nigeria. But that's when the people in Nigeria actually said that they thought that there was something like really weird going on with Simon because Porsha was trying to get freebies for her wedding. And the people that were on the ground in Nigeria were like, you don't understand that the people that do these wedding planners in Nigeria, it's billionaires. They want their money. They don't need exposure. They're not trying to get over to the American money. They are making bank in their own country. So they don't need that whole like, oh, it's publicity. Around that time, for some reason, Simon was balking at Porsha was balking at signing a prenup. Things that slowed down. People are like, are y'all ever getting married? Remember when she was on Tamara Hall's show and Tamara Hall was like, well, then why ain't y'all married yet? And people are starting to ask questions. And then magically out the blue, oh, that's another thing. Porsha sent out wedding invitations and then told for the Nigerian wedding and then told everybody, oh, guess what? The wedding's canceled. And then she sent out new invitations 3 weeks before the wedding saying, guess what? We're going to get married over Thanksgiving weekend. And remember, a lot of people were mad because they had Yandy even had already bought tickets to Nigeria. They bought their outfits to Nigeria. They had gotten hotel stays in Nigeria. And a lot of people couldn't get refundable money. But go watch my old videos. That's all in there. But it's all starting to make sense now, isn't it? Really quick, let me say what's up to LaShawn. What's up? LaShawn Deneen Chinese said, loving it. Stephanie Staley, thank you so much for becoming a member. Also, LaShawn, shout out to you being a member for 23 months. I've been on YouTube for like 30 months and you've been a member for 23. Actually, maybe it was 28 months. The point is you've been with me since the beginning. LaShawn, What's up, Stephanie Daly? Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget, you guys, members only Monday is going to be tomorrow. Oh, baby, we chopping this down. Long gone. Thank you so much for joining. And also, Heather Stanley, thank you so much for being a member for 2 months. I appreciate all of you guys. All right, let's get into this, y'all. Okay. On October 22nd, he filed that. Blah, blah. On March 13th, 2023, petitioner filed an instant complaint in this court and asked the court to vacate the denial and remand with instructions to grant petitioner's application. Simon went into the court and asked the court to make sure that the motion they had granted off of this false identity be granted. Simon stood up in front of an immigration court and tried to act like his fake identity was the real him. And that other Simon that got arrested for fraud and all this and da 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 da. Oh, no, 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 no. That was somebody else. Y'all, I can't. Hold on. I just want to show y'all something really quick. Well, Simon's bold. The argument he made. Ooh, this is good. Ah, oh my God. Y'all, I'm gonna have to put this into a part 2. Should I read this all now? Or should I do this as a part 2? Because this is a lot, but it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. He did this is one good thing. He argued that his statements on the assault application, whether fraudulent or not, cannot be used against him to deny immigration benefits because the statutory confidentiality protections afforded to assault applications. He tried to say that the immigration court couldn't pull up the fact that he had lied on his application as a reason to deny the application. So I'm going to be talking to everybody like their name is Porsha Williams. Listen, you guys, I actually do have to go because I promised to make something. But listen, I'm going to come back on live tonight, read the second half of these court documents, and baby, I got even more tea. So I know it's a lot. Go check out the old playlist. I'm going to have to read exactly what the judge said, but baby, it is a doozy. We're going to have to do that. Actually, hold on. Maybe I'll read a little bit of it. Hold on, y'all, because I know y'all are like, boo. Let's see. Listen. Oh, whispering moments. Let me just tell y'all that before I leave you guys, because this is actually important. Let me tell y'all something. Bravo got over on Porsha. And I was going to make a separate video about this, but then I was like, she's coming back to Royal Housewives. Just let her have her happiness. You know, all that cap that all these people are like, ain't nobody ever got a deal like that. Let me tell you something about this. Porsha basically signed an agreement saying, remember when Bethany came out with all that housewife stuff and Bethany could, after that, Bravo literally said for now on any housewife that sells anything through Bravo. So the Atlanta Housewives girls had this in their contract. So they were free from this. Is another reason why Bravo wanted to get rid of the OGs, because if Candy had started 5 years later, Candy wouldn't have been able to build her kingdom because Bravo has ownership of everything. The Atlanta girls had the best contracts. Bethany had a contract like the Atlanta girls. Once Bethany's skinny girl blew up, Bravo saw their mistake and they said, from now on, it's written in the contract that if you do business with us, right, we get a portion of the proceeds. We have ownership of everything that you might make stemming from the show and whatever. Why is that important for Porsha? This clause they're talking about, she has NBC Universal deals. No, because if you read the contract, and I did, and this is what I mean about people just be capping and just lying. If you read the contract, what the contract actually says is this: after Candace was able, from Real Housewives of Potomac, was able to get a successful acting gig outside of Bravo that Bravo can't mess with, that's when they said, wait, Housewives might, and Nene, you know, Nene had that stuff. Housewives actually might make the jump to being actual actresses. And if that happens, they'll probably leave Housewives because the acting gig, if it's good enough, will pay more than Housewives. So what did they write in Porsha's contract? The fact that Porsha can only work for NBC Universal shows. She cannot work anywhere else. Now, here's the thing. If this was a good deal, like everybody said, it would say, and they promise her at least a baseline minimum of this many scripted shows that she will star in. They just said that if she does act, it will have to be NBC Universal. They didn't even promise her first contract. You guys, that is somebody basically saying that you cannot have any other side gigs. And if you do, it has to be with NBC Universal's and with Bravo's permission, but not to work outside. That's out the question. To work with them, you're going to need Bravo's going to take their piece. On top of that, that also means that Porsha can't do Dish Nation. She can't do anything outside of her NBC Universal contract, was be a housewife. And this is what I mean. The same people that read that shit from Porsha's contract, if they weren't blowing smoke up her butt, the people that read that and didn't see this is a golden cage, I literally signed away my ability to do anything outside of Bravo. And please believe that if the only thing you can star in is NBC Universal, they ain't going to be paying you anything. They're going to be like, do you want it? Take it or leave it. And here's this. There's something called requirements contracts where you say, I promise, or it's output and requirements. I forget the exact name, but it's saying like, I promise that I will only star in NBC Universal. And in exchange, NBC Universal will say, and we promise that we will have you in at least 1 to 10 vehicles. It doesn't matter. We will have these vehicles. They are yet unnamed, but we promise these vehicles will happen. The fact that they did not even say that Bravo has to promise her a certain amount for her to sign away lets me know that Porsha signed away on her contract for a very I feel like they're paying her peanuts. And that contract she signed, I wouldn't advise, because Porsha made money off of Dish Radio. Porsha did this part. Again, the same thing they did with Skinny Girl, where now Bravo has their hands in anything housewives make or do. They get 20, 30, sometimes somebody said it's even 50%, but they definitely get a percentage off the top. The same way that if you, first of all, Porsha can't even act in anything outside. She has to stay with NBC Universal, and they have not promised her one vehicle. So you can take that as a win if you want. But again, I do believe, and I'm going to talk about this when I go live later on tonight, but I will go down on this. Porsha, I think Bravo's trying to set Porsha up the same way they set Teresa up, the same way they set Jen Shaw up, and they use their downfall as a storyline. Because besides me, how did this get leaked? And how did this get leaked to all the blogs? And these are the same blogs that they saw my videos. I saw them literally clowning me over it. So they saw it. I'm not saying I'm the most, but people watch my stuff, right? And they chose not to speak on it. But now it's been flooded all over. And the court docs, y'all, if I was Porsha, I'd be very, very worried. And I would think about stepping back. This isn't even on some ha, ha, ha. It's on some, Bravo has proven the way they will ruin your life and not care. Look at Jen Shaw. Look at Jen Shaw. But then again, Portia's trying to like, Simon's the one that said his name was Hakuna Matata, not me. Simona Puba Gabodia. You know what I'm saying? All right, listen, that's all I'm saying. Listen, you don't understand. No, you guys don't understand. She is locked into a 360 deal where before she could negotiate. You guys don't understand. But let me explain this. Do you know the reason why nobody likes 360 record deals? It's because when 360 record deals, it takes away your negotiation power. It takes away you taking top dollar, because the people that are paying you are also the people that have a hold over you. They will always give you bottom dollar. Every recording artist in this world is trying to get out of the 360 deal. Meg Thee Stallion just got out of her 360 deal. They will pay you pennies because they have you a captive audience. You can't do anything without them, and you need their permission to do everything, and they will pay you what they want. Because you have no choice. You signed an employment contract saying that's the only person you're going to work with. Porsha is in a 360 360 deal with Bravo. It don't matter that iHeart got connections with Bravo. It don't matter whether Bravo got connections with NBC Universal. It matters the fact that you will be paid bottom dollar, and all of your negotiation power to truly get something that works in your favor is gone because you signed it away in an MF and 360 deal. Do y'all understand that? Do y'all understand that? Even if she goes to iHeartRadio, she's not getting the same contract she did when she was just regular Porsha, because now they're like, do you want to work or not? And you already said you can't work for anyone else. And guess what? Even if you decide to quit, you're not going to be able to work for any of these other people. iHeart, TV, scripted for the next 3 years. Do you understand how this is indentured servant? Do you understand how she is in a gilded cage? This is like, it is slavery. Before with Housewives, if they left Housewives, they couldn't star on another reality TV show for 3 years because of a non-compete agreement. That's why you didn't see Nene pop up or even Porsha pop up on a Carlos King production, because of that non-compete agreement. That non-compete agreement on that 360 deal now extends to all scripted television, iHeart, and NBC things. Do you see how this is not a good thing for her? She took away her ability, even when she leaves, to find a job outside of reality TV. Why did they do that? Because they're sick of reality TV people being like, they don't want another Candy. Candy made money outside of Bravo. Candy has other options. And when Candy decided to leave, she just left. Again, we can argue whether that was a smart move or not. But my point is, when she left, that did not stop her ability with Candy Coated. It didn't stop her TV shows. It didn't stop anything. Porsha's contract stops her from doing all that. Again, if she plans to be on the reality TV forever, but you know how reality TV teaches you, you know? Exactly. That's what happened for Monique from the thing. You know? That's what happens. Listen, y'all, listen, first of all, Leo Queen, you can leave. Don't get mad at me because y'all know. I told y'all with the Simon stuff y'all didn't want to believe. Now I'm telling y'all about contract law and y'all don't want to believe what's going on with contract law. Y'all don't want to believe that. Listen, keep believing, keep having faith. Time will tell. Like I told y'all a year and a half ago, when y'all didn't want to hear it. I'm skewed. I'm this. I'm that. Y'all didn't want to believe that shit. And now look, it's a year and a half later, and y'all motherfuckers, y'all MFers are in my life trying to hear court documents. So, baby, believe what you want, but time will tell. And I'm telling you, time has been good to me. Time has been good to me. Time has been good to me. And y'all will see. I'm just saying, for anybody whose job offers you an opportunity for a contract written like Porsha's contract was, it's not the flex you think it is. And don't take it. You never want to be in a 360 deal. You don't believe me? Just Google 360 deals for why is a 360 deal considered bad for an artist, and you'll find out. Okay? Anyway, right? Listen, exactly. She just signed her Mariah, Tommy Mottola, Sony contract. And again, if the only thing Porsha could be, what, and that's the thing I understand, Porsha's fans be so dense. If the only thing Porsha could be was a reality TV star, then I would say, all right, go be a reality TV star, because that's the most you're going to be. I'm actually giving Porsha props, saying, Porsha, you can be an actress. You kiss Simon on the mouth every night and try to act like you're in love. We know you can act. And you got a good gag reflex, right? When things come up, you're like, right? Right? We know you can act and act like tequila favorite cigar breath smells good, right? So we know, but all jokes aside, we know Porsha can act. We know Porsha is very good on the radio. This actually hurt her. I'm trying to be like, this hurt her. She could have done way better on her own. And y'all fighting me because y'all would rather believe the fantasy of her signing a good contract is better than the reality of knowing the truth and then making moves. But then again, that's why it's Porsha's fans, because just like Porsha would rather believe the fantasy that a billionaire African that nobody's ever, Nigerian billionaire that nobody's ever heard of, not even the real Nigerian billionaires that live in Atlanta that nobody's ever heard of, that got maybe 2 employees, fake bios, literally fake bios, literally federal judges telling you in order. There's more. I only got through a third of this, a third of the BS. Y'all would rather believe that fantasy that a billionaire, she stole a billionaire Nigerian that changed her whole fortune than to believe the truth that she is with a very, in my opinion, reckless man that is going to pull her down. And she does not distance herself. He's going to run. This goes past housewives and having a key. Porsha needs to be careful. And all these people screaming about how her contract's a good contract, how her contract's a good contract. Y'all need to be going up. You know what? Do what y'all want. Do what y'all want, because fantasy is better than reality. Ain't that right? Then a person said they set Porsha up. You know, she's not the brightest tool in the shit. And this is why I say I 100% believe that Bravo set Porsha up. 100%. Also, Measured Man said there's a reason they don't allow them to have outside legal to view contracts, and the contract must be signed the day is given. Exactly. Exactly. And the fact that iHeart and all those places are in on it, that just means that they all going to pee you out. But whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying? Listen, listen. Black Scorpio, immigration docs. I agree with you. That's the thing. They're not so. It's not that I agree with you. I think Bravo leaked it. It's not that they're inaccessible, but they are hard to find unless you know what you're looking for. These documents came out on, first of all, this case has been ongoing for anyone who's paying attention, but the judge finally literally read him the Riot Act on January 11th. 2024. So without ado, listen, I'll go live later on tonight to finish this up, and I'm going to reload some of my playlists. But if you guys are wondering, it's the Porsha Simon playlist. Go on my page. All the videos are super, super funny, and they go really, really fast for the antics. But I'm going to finish reading these legal docs on my live later on tonight. Join me, y'all. I'll say one thing. Bravo might have done something. Y'all watching season 16. If it comes on, baby, I'm reviewing it because I can't wait for Porsha Family Values Part 2. The way they did her dirty, I cannot wait. Okay, really quick. Sylvia, Princess Di, Queen Beamer, Ursula, Honey Lot. Oh, Ursula, thank you for the super chat. I don't know if I said thank you. Caillou the Prince, Nicole Richardson, Princess Di, LaShawn, Stephanie Stanley, Long Gone, Heather Stanley, Vina Persons, and also Measured Man. Shout out to the illest and the realest. I'll talk to y'all later. See y'all later on tonight. All right. Bye.